This time, we will explain the visas required for foreigners to set up a company, depending on the person's visa status, etc. First of all, you can establish a company with your current visa if you live in Japan and have one of the following 4 statuses of residence: permanent resident, spouse of permanent resident, etc. Long-term resident, spouse of a Japanese national, etc. These statuses of residence do not have any restrictions on working, so you can establish a company and operate a business without any restrictions. Next, if you live in Japan and have the following statuses of residence other than the 4 I explained earlier, you will need to change to a business manager visa. Study abroad, and working visas such as Gijinkoku, specified skilled worker, etc. With these statuses of residence, you cannot run a company. Therefore, it is necessary to change to a business manager visa. Please note that running a company with your current status of residence will violate Immigration Control Act. Furthermore, if you live abroad and in the following cases, you will need to obtain a new business manager visa. Expanding to Japan, and starting a business in Japan. In these cases, you will need to obtain a new business manager visa. Please note that in many cases, you will also need to have a collaborator in Japan. The general flow to obtain a business manager visa is as follows. Decide on the capital, location of the head office, and other basic company matters, and sign an office contract. Prepare capital and pay it in. Register the establishment of the company with the Legal Affairs Bureau. If a business license is required, apply for and obtain it. Apply for a business manager visa at the Immigration Bureau. Depending on the visa period type, such as a 4-month visa, you may be able to apply for and obtain a business manager visa before establishing a company. It is not easy for foreigners to establish a company in Japan and obtain a business manager visa. Finally, we will introduce some common problems when obtaining a business manager visa. The first is when the office requirements cannot be met, such as using a home office or a shared office. The second case is when you are unable to prepare the funds. In order to obtain a business manager visa, you need to meet the conditions of having a capital of 5 million yen or more or having 2 or more full-time employees. The third case is when you cannot open a bank account. You cannot open a bank account unless you are residing in Japan. Therefore, if you are residing overseas, you will need to take measures such as paying the capital into the account of a Japanese collaborator. The fourth case is when you are unable to obtain licenses. When obtaining a business license in Japan, you need to meet the office, capital, and other requirements, so it is important to set up your company with this in mind. The fifth case is when you cannot obtain a business manager visa. Even if you can set up a company, you cannot do business if you cannot obtain a proper visa. You need to prepare carefully and thoroughly so that you don't end up being unable to get a visa even though all 4 steps were successful. In another video, I would like to explain how to avoid these problems. So far, I have explained the business manager visa required for company establishment, the process for obtaining it, and common problems. Thank you for watching. If you are considering establishing a company or applying for a visa, please contact AOBA Soken. This video was presented by AOBA Soken.